Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome this afternoon. My name is Andrew. I'm going to be your host for the next half hour. I'd like to get started by welcoming acknowledging the traditional owners of the land upon which we stand, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and future. Now, unless you've just arrived at World Tour a little late in the day, this is not a slide that's new to you. It is our safe harbor statement, and we do remind you to please make any purchasing decisions based on currently available product. Now, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. As I said, my name's Andrew Hill. I have the great pleasure of leading our non-profit sales team here at Salesforce in Australia and New Zealand. I honestly believe it's one of the best jobs at Salesforce because I get to give back, work with organizations like yourselves, amazing organizations in the community, not just in the 7 days a year that Salesforce generously provides each of our staff, but every day of the year, which is a pretty cool privilege for myself. Now, as an organization over the past 20 years, and we are celebrating our 20th anniversary this Friday, which is pretty good, we've been able to achieve a lot in the community, a lot of things that I'm pretty proud of. Close to 4 million hours in volunteer time to date, over $250 million in grants to community organizations via Salesforce.org's social enterprise model. Now, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the organizations that we're working with in this space, I'd recommend taking a little walk after the session, of course, over to the Salesforce.org zone, where you can see organizations like Greenpeace, Too Good, the Shepherd Center, and understand a little bit more about what they're doing in the communities. And lastly, from a technology perspective, we work with more than 40,000 amazing nonprofit organizations around the world today, and we're going to hear from one of those amazing trailblazers this afternoon. And what we hear working with those organizations is the world is certainly changing. We're moving into this impact-first world where there's more demand from our funders to understand where our money's going, the impact that money is making in the community programs that are being funded. There's more demand from services from the community, more that's being asked of organizations like yourselves. And lastly, the types of people who've been supporting us in the past are also changing as well. We're working with a younger generation. We have people who are perhaps more interested in lending their voice or their time to a cause than their donation dollars. So it's a very different world that we're now working within. So when we think about what it means to become an impact-first nonprofit, it's not just about being able to report on what's happened historically and looking back at that historical data. It's really about leveraging this data, harnessing this data that exists across the organization. We appreciate there are huge growing volumes of data that exist within all your organizations, and being able to drive more effective programs, more efficiency in the programs that you're delivering around the world. One of the key challenges with doing this is, a situation that I'm sure everyone in the room is familiar with. You've probably got all these different silos of data. You've probably got, perhaps some of it's sitting in Salesforce today, but other data in Excel spreadsheets. I'm sure some of you have got data sitting on paper and filing cabinets around the office. And it makes it really challenging to put your constituent and your supporter at the center of everything that you do. And that's really critical when we think about driving greater impact in our communities. So at Salesforce today at World Tour, you've probably heard about the customer success platform. So for nonprofit organizations, what we try to do is really enable you to run fundraising programs, marketing engagement, and extending that all on a single platform, keeping your constituent and your supporter at the center of everything that you do. Taking this one step further, was anyone here at World Tour last year? A few of you? So some of you might have seen our pitch comp, which one of our local ecosystem partners, Social Suite, was actually lucky enough to win, did a fantastic job, and won a $100,000 investment from Salesforce Ventures. What Social Suite does is provides an impact measurement platform that runs entirely on the Salesforce platform as well, which is fantastic to see. So let's take a look at some of this in action. I'd like to welcome to the stage, if we can call it a stage, Michael and Gio from our solution engineering team, who are going to be taking us through a live demonstration. Thank you, Michael and Gio.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Hello, everybody. It's my privilege to be here with you all today. And I've got the wonderful pleasure of taking you through how fundraising and engagement can come together on the Salesforce platform to make you impact-first nonprofits. I'm here with my superstar senior solution engineer, Giovanna Evangelista, and she's going to help go through the demo with me. I'm Michael Phillips, Director of Solution Engineering. Before we get into the demo today, I want to take you through and set the scene of STEPS, a fictitious organisation based here in Australia that deals with children with cancer and their families and helps them through their journey. It's STEP's responsibility to try and make sure that every child in Australia has the same opportunity to shine. And in order to do that, they need access to donations. So let's have a look at how a donor can connect with the Salesforce platform and go on a journey. Rachel's a 35-year-old mother of 2. And like most of us, she gets access to the world around her via her social feed. This morning, she logged onto her socials, and she came across a post that was posted by Steps. In this post, Steps talked about how Linda had just survived cancer. This story really resonated with Rachel. Her daughter's best friend at school has been diagnosed with leukemia, and Rachel wanted to figure out how she can help. She clicked through the post, she donated $50, and instantly receives an email thanking her for her donation. In the email, it also said how the money was going to be used and how she was going to be able to impact the organization, and also gives her the ability to register for an upcoming event, the Stand By Me lunch. Rachel's interested in doing this, so she clicks through the registration and gets taken through to a Salesforce landing page. This Salesforce landing page is branded and looks exactly the same as all of Step's other digital marketing and their assets. Except there's one difference. All of the information that's captured on this page flows through to Salesforce and becomes useful. We capture more than just the 4 fields in the top left-hand side of the screen, but we do recommend 3 or 4 fields to be used to capture the donor's information. We also capture IP addresses and click paths and other things that happen on this page, which all come into Salesforce, and I'll show you how we can use them in just a moment. Okay, in the back end of the system, there needs to be somebody actually using all of this data. Today, I'm going to be Kelly. I'm a fundraising manager here at Steps. I wear many hats like many of you in the audience. I make sure that all of the contact and details on our donors is kept up to date and relevant. I also help marketing out with a lot of the campaigns that they run. And I also make sure that every dollar that's donated to Steps is used in the best way possible, and that we capture a return on investment for every one of those dollars. All right, let's log in and actually have a look what this looks like. It's first thing in the morning. I've come into the office, and arguably the most important thing that I do in my day is get a big cup of coffee. The second most important thing that I do is log on to Salesforce. Here I'm greeted with the Salesforce homepage. The homepage is where I get access to all the information I need to run my day. It's pushed up to me, and importantly, if I have a different role in the organization, the information that comes through on my homepage is going to be relevant to me in that role. On the left-hand side, you can see my campaign performance dashboard, and that's giving me all the information about how my campaigns are doing. Within a couple of clicks, I can click in to 2018, have a look at New South Wales, and find which campaign was the most impactful. It looks like our campaign for our charity auction was the most impactful last year. If I want to find out more information about this charity, this campaign, who rocked up and what they did, I can quickly drill in with one click, and I never have to leave Salesforce to get the information I need. Importantly as well, on the top right-hand side, I get access to my events, underneath activities and tasks and other things that I need to perform through the day, bringing information in from external systems. Importantly though, it's all in the one place. And I just get a push notification, an Engage alert, telling me that Rachel's logged on and registered for our event. Now before I drill in and find out some more information so I can contact Rachel, I want to show you on the right-hand side all of the people that have come, well, in this situation, one person that's come to our site and hasn't finished completing the registration form. We capture details on them as well. It's important to capture the IP address, the click paths that they've done on the website, and any other information that we can, so we can start to build a full picture of who they are. We can start to turn these organizations and individuals into donors down the track. But that's another journey that we'll take you on some other day. Right now, I want to have a look at Rachel, find some more information about her so I can give her a call and thank her for registering for our event. I drill down into Rachel's contact record, or a donor record, and I'm greeted by our highlights panel. In the Nonprofit Success Pack, I get access to information that's going to automatically rate Rachel on her level of donor score, also her volunteer level indicator, and other detailed information underneath this around her contact details, the amount that she's donated through the years, and all of the times that we've contacted her, including volunteer information, showing us the types of skills that she has. So when we need those skills, we can reach out to her. If I want even more details, I can drill down again into the Related tab, and I can find out all of the other contacts in the system that Rachel has a connection with. I can see in detail every one of the donations that she's made, and every time we've contacted her. That's not all we've got. On the top right-hand side, we've got our Einstein recommendations. Einstein's our artificial intelligence layer. It sits across everything that we do on the platform. In this instance, it's automatically compared Rachel to every other similar contact that we have in the system. It's gone and had a look at her high-value donor score of 8.33. It's noticed that she's made a recent donation to the organization, and as a result, thinks it's going to be beneficial if we talk to her about upgrading to a VIP table when I've got her on the phone. Importantly as well, it's gone through and seen that she's not currently a part of all of our journeys, and she might be interested in one of them. With one click, I can add her to a journey, and I can come down below and see all of the engagement history, which is every single interaction that we've had with Rachel digitally, in real time. Now I've got a full picture of who Rachel is. I can be confident when I call her that I'm going to be able to talk to her one-on-one. So let's do that now. Hello Rachel, how are you? I'm good, thanks Kelly. Thank you very much for registering for our event. I was wondering if you might be interested in upgrading to a VIP table of 10. Actually, I'd love to do that. Thank you, Kelly. I want to bring my friends along. Would you be able to set that up for me now? Absolutely. Have you got a credit card handy? Within a couple of clicks, I can add a VIP table to our bag. We can check out, grab the credit card information, and everything else is defaulted, making it quick and easy for me to complete this transaction, meaning I'm going to be able to process more transactions a day than I would have been able to in the past, and also giving a seamless experience for Rachel. All right, that's fantastic. I can have a conversation with Rachel and say, thank you very much. Your tickets are going to be coming through to your email momentarily. I'll talk to you soon. Rachel logs onto her email and has a look for the tickets. She finds the digital tickets that come through, but these aren't any ordinary tickets. You've also got links that send Rachel through to download her tax receipt, and other things through the donor portal, which means that she can start to self-serve and interact even more closely with our organization, helping us be even more impactful. But I'm not going to show you that right now. I'm going to come to that in a moment. What I do want to show you though, some really cool tools that my marketing department's given me access to. I can come in and quickly run and engage email. I have a whole bunch of really beautiful templates that have been put together for me by the marketing department, one of which is our lunch menu for the event that's coming up, the Stand By Me. Now, this beautiful email is more than just an email. It's a way for me to interact personally in a different way with every single person. The different things that we're bringing from Salesforce to make it a one-on-one interaction are all coming through automatically to this email. At the bottom of the email, I've even got a link for somebody to purchase more tickets, because we know that people who have registered for the event might have friends that also want to come to the event, and they can send this email on and get them to buy tickets, and we can track every single place that this email goes and every interaction that happens on that email. It then comes back into Salesforce, gets part of the journey, and enables us to make even more progress with this in the future. The email is just one part of the journey. Let's come back and have a look at all of it. I can quickly and easily come in, create a sample list of emails or people that I want to email. I can say high value donors that have donated in the last 12 months. But I can also have a suppression list, a group of people that I don't want to invite in this email. Maybe people that haven't donated over a long period of time, and we want to keep them separate so that we can include them on a different journey later on. I can hover over the email get a quick look at what it's going to look like, and then I can run a test to make sure that this email is going to go on the correct journey, and I can put myself in the shoe of the recipient and find out how that's going to work. Once the campaign's been run, I can come back and get results in our report. I can see that I've sent it through to 140 plus recipients. Some of those recipients have clicked on the email. Some of them have RSVP'd. Some of them have actually come to our event. Some of them, unfortunately, weren't able to make it. I can now have specific interactions with all of these different groups of people in a different way. I can say, thank you very much for joining us today. I can say, I'm sorry we missed you. Can we include you in future events? And all of this stuff comes together and helping you make more of an impact. All right, I told you that I was going to show you the donor portal. This is a super slick, beautiful way for Rachel and all of the other donors to come and interact more closely with STEPS as an organization. Rachel doesn't have to call me when she wants to get in contact with me. She can do it in her own time from anywhere, on any device. And she can come in, change her own details, change her contact details, have a look at all of the history and all of the donations that she's made. When it comes to tax time, she can come and get a list of her receipts. She can also have a look at the way that we're communicating with her. She can choose which lines of communication she would like and which she wouldn't, rather than just opting out of all communications. We can start to give her more direct information that's going to make her more connected to the organization. And once she becomes more connected, she might want to become a regular monthly donor. And on the home screen, within one click, we can sign her up for a monthly donation. And all of the other information that we've captured about her means that that's the end of that process. And we've enabled her donation to come through and be more impactful on everything that we want to do. So what we've been able to show you today, very quickly, is how a donor would interact with the Salesforce platform to make an organization more impactful and the people within that organization work more seamlessly. And then I've shown you how you can do all of this with self-service. Thank you very much. Back to you, Andrew.
Well, thank you, Michael and Gio. It was great to see that live demonstration. But now let's hear from one of our amazing trailblazing customers. Now, Jessica Macpherson's a name you might have seen in the news a little earlier this year when she was awarded an OAM on Australia Day. To tell you a little bit more about the amazing impact that St Kilda Mums is making in their community, I'd like to welcome to the stage from St Kilda Mums, founder and CEO Jessie, Paula, and from my own team, Kylie Jones.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gio and Michael, for a great demonstration. And St Kilda Mums, welcome to the stage. How are you both today?
Hi.
You having a good day?
Having a great day. Thank you.
Great. Awesome. So look, some people in the room might not know what St Kilda Mums does. Jessie, could you tell us a bit about the organisation?
Sure can. St Kilda Mums is a charity that collects donations of pre-loved nursery equipment, so things like prams and cots and car restraints, as well as clothing, books and toys. Our volunteers make sure that everything is clean and safe, and then we give everything to social workers who are supporting families living in crisis.
And I've literally seen firsthand the organised chaos that is at the St Kilda Mums location, and it's fantastic. You do a great job,
Thank
honestly,
you,
it's amazing. Now, I know you implemented Salesforce at an early stage of the organisation.
Yes, very early.
Could you tell us a little bit about the impact that's had?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
We're 10 years old this year. For the first 4.5 years, we had no paid staff. I was employed as the first employee, the CEO, and the very first thing I did is I got in touch with Salesforce and got the first 10 free user licenses. But then, of course, I got stuck. And I did a shout out on Facebook, and a local dad who knew a lot about Salesforce volunteered to help us with our first implementation. And the key thing that I wanted to get my head around was the endless spreadsheets of donor data, information from campaigns we'd run, from raffle tickets we'd sold, from events that people had attended, and get them all into the one place. So that was the very first thing that we set out to do. And then we started to advertise. In fact, I advertised on LinkedIn once about 4.5 years ago, and for Salesforce volunteers. And since then, we've had a steady stream of volunteers who are, for the most part, new Australians who are looking for some local experience on their resume. And there's a couple here in the audience today. Hands up, girls. Oh, wow, there's more than a couple.
Oh, wow.
Hi, there's at least 4 here today. So if you're running a charity and you're looking for some really smart people to come and help you, and you can help them secure their first job in Australia, I highly recommend that you do it. Get in touch with me, because we've got a lot of people that want to help.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jessie. And that brings me on to you, Paula. You started at the organisation as a volunteer. You're the IT manager now, and initially brought on to do things that wasn't Salesforce. Now, how have you managed to equip yourself with all the Salesforce knowledge that you have today in using Salesforce?
Well, when I started volunteering with Kilda Mums, I had no idea of Salesforce whatsoever. So Jessie said, "Oh, look, we use Salesforce. Do you think you can fix this bit?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I just jumped in the deep end. And slowly I start learning, and then I discovered Trailhead, which was awesome, because through Trailhead, I'll be able to look for either general stuff, or what is possible to do, or very, very specific stuff to solve a particular technical challenge. And lately, the last thing that we're doing now is that we're rolling out Lightning. And I've used all the trails, about going from Classic to Lightning, how to increase the user adoption of Lightning and all that. And it has been great.
Fantastic. For anyone that doesn't know in the room and hasn't heard of Trailhead yet, how do you access Trailhead? Where can you find it?
Or you just put Trailhead at Salesforce and you'll get in and you can get a free account, and there you go.
Excellent. Great. Now, Jessie.
Yes.
We all know that you are a trailblazer. What is your tweet headline?
Addicted to Trailhead.
Addicted to Trailhead. So for those in the room that might not know, I thought it'd be great if you could tell us a little bit about what a trailblazer is, what that word means.
Okay. So a trailblazer can be anyone. A trailblazer doesn't have to be a leader. A trailblazer can be a volunteer within an organisation. It's generally somebody who's not afraid to give something a go, set up that free trial account, have a go, try implementing something new. Managers love employees and volunteers that come along with a solution to a problem. And if you're that person who's always keen to learn more, and to experiment, if you can then take your ideas and your solutions along to your manager, you're going to find yourself getting promoted pretty quickly, I would imagine.
Fantastic.
And if you're volunteering for an organisation, I know from personal experience that as soon as the organisation is in a position to employ somebody to be a Salesforce administrator or an IT manager, you're going to look internally and you're going to hire that person who has been there for you and has demonstrated their appetite for risk and for trying new things, and you're going to get employed.
The innovators of the world is what Jessie is looking for. Now, how many Trailhead badges do you have?
I'm at 180. I'm very upset that I didn't get to Double Ranger before today. That was my goal. I'll go for the end of March now.
Yeah, excellent. So Jessie does Trailhead in bed at night. That's what she does. She absolutely lives and breathes it. So it's fantastic to have you here to join us today, as it is with you, Paula, as well. Now, I know that you're happy to give up some of your time to answer some questions. So if any of you have questions for Jessie or Paula, you'll find them over at the industry booth, the not-for-profit industry booth, which I'm sure a lot of you have already visited today. But really, thank you so much for both of your time today. It's been great. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Andrew.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I absolutely love that story, and I find it amazing every time I hear about what Jessie's doing in the community with Kilda Mums. So where to from here? Jessie mentioned Kylie mentioned Jessie and the team will be over at the non-profit industry booth, which is just over here. Over in the back left or to your right is where the Salesforce.org zone is, so you can go and meet some of the wonderful partners that we're working with there. Learning with Trailhead, you've all heard a lot about Trailhead today. There's a lot of non-profit specific content that is on Trailhead, whether it's Pardot, the non-profit success pack. So I'd recommend getting a free account if you don't already, and you can really play to your heart's content. The non-profit success pack is something that'll help accelerate your journey with Salesforce. there is a free 30-day trial that you can get into. Of course, you can take all those skills that you've just learned in Trailhead and put them into action. And lastly, there's an amazing community of people out there. Even if you don't have someone that you can call on down the street, you've got 40,000 plus nonprofit organizations around the world in what we call the Power of Us Hub, which is our community specifically for our nonprofit customers. What's amazing is questions that are asked within the hub, 99% of those questions get answered. So there is a fantastic feeling of support from the organization. So there's a few things to get started. I wanted to say thank you again to St Kilda Mums, to Jesse and Paula for sharing their time this afternoon, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.